Hello, my fellow investors, and welcome back to another fundamental analysis video. We are starting the week of earnings pretty soon as of Friday. However, right now it is currently Tuesday, and you can see there are a number of companies here that we can analyze, and that's actually what I would like to do today. The company that I actually would like to analyze, it's one that I have not done here on the channel. In fact, I've actually refrained from doing this company because, well, the fundamentals aren't necessarily that good, as well as the fact that a lot of people tend to like this kind of industry, which can't really blame them. But from a fundamental perspective, it still has a long way to go. And the company that I'm talking about, it is none other than the company Tilray. Now, okay, for all of those of you who know what this company does, keep it to yourselves, okay? I'm gonna try to be as subtle as possible, though. If you probably saw the thumbnail, you probably laughed because I'm actually gonna have some fun with this. So, with that said, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really does help out with the algorithm on YouTube as well as Rumble. Make sure to follow us on X. And with that said, let's get started with the fundamental analysis on Tilray brands. So, for all of those of you who do not know what this company does, here is the company profile. Tilray Brands engages in the research, cultivation, processing, and distribution of medical cannabis products in Canada, the United States, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Latin America, and internationally. So, yeah, their main thing is cannabis, guys. It is that, and I love it too because they're under pharmaceuticals. Now, first things first, I have to really just mention, I do not condone this in the slightest. Just like how I don't condone, drinking alcohol or even like eating fast food or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm a capitalist. You guys do whatever you want. So really not is up to me. And if it is legal in the country that you are currently living in, then by all means. If it is not legal, please look at the laws before you do anything. I am not condoning the usage of this in the slightest. I don't know if where you guys live is you're able to do it recreationally or medically. Again, not really what I'm here for. Not going to get into that. Not really my problem. All I'm going to take a look at is the company's fundamentals. So make sure to follow the laws of your country if you want to use this thing or not. I'm not condoning this in the slightest. So let us now come into the calculator. We got the ticker for TLRY, market cap of $1.71 billion, a PE of NA. Their earnings are real bad. Like seriously, their net income is in the negatives pretty consistently. In fact, it's actually getting worse. We'll take a look at that in just 1 second. With a current share price of $2.34. Which, taking a look at this today, this thing is up 2.63%, and post-market, they're up 1.28%. On the 1 year, they are down 17.39%. And so far, the year to date, I'm not going to take a look at this. On the 5 year, they are down a whopping 97.2%. If we take a look at this on the max, guys, look at this. Their highest point was on October? Wow, look at that. October 15th, 2018, where it reached a peak of $145.30, and it's just completely collapsed. You can see here that 52-week low is $1.50 to a 52-week high of $3.59. So you already know how I feel about this kind of company. It's a hype company, right? Like that kind of crest and then just come down like that. It really does scream hype, as well as the fact that this is technically a penny stock. For all those of you who guys don't know, anything under $5, it is considered a penny stock. So they don't pay the dividend, which means all of the cash flow is going straight into themselves. However, the cash flow on the 5-year average, it is negative $98.2 million. Last year's free cash flow, it is in the positive, $16.3 million. Still has a long way to go, though. Now, here's where things actually get interesting. The fundamentals, starting, of course, with net income 5 years ago of negative $102.5 million to 1 year ago of negative 1.45 billion with a B. That is a decrease of 1,315%. I mean, guys, consistently decreasing, massive drop as of 2 years ago. I'm going to give this a 0%. I think it's pretty obvious. The free cash flow, on the other hand, honestly, I gotta give them some credit for this one. 5 years ago of negative $199.4 million to 1 year ago of actually in the positive. The first time, the past 5 years, they were in the positive, $16.3 million. That is an increase of 108%. However, the average being negative $98.2 million. I'm gonna give this a 10%, mainly because, okay, I don't like this in the slightest, but they are starting to go in the positive direction here. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Pity points, 10%. The revenue, on the other hand, looks absolutely incredible. 5 years ago of 179.3 million to 1 year ago of $627.1 million. That is an increase of almost 250%. Pretty consistently increasing. A small dip from 2 to 1 year ago. Though, to be fair, this 1 year ago, guys, I should have mentioned this. This 1 year ago is technically, they end their year in May, so we still have essentially like a quarter and a half for them to go. So this could be upwards of 628 by the time they reach the end of the fiscal year. So yeah, for now, I'm going to give them a 95%. When taking a look at the assets minus the liabilities, this actually isn't even looking that bad over here. As you guys can see, it did take a little bit of a tumble from 3 to 2 years ago, but all in all, looking pretty good. Average total assets being almost $5 billion, liabilities being $1.11 billion. This is a difference of $3.81 billion. I'm going to give this a 50%. Now the cash flow minus the total liabilities actually looks kind of crazy, not gonna lie. You can see the worst year here was 4 years ago, but ever since then, they have been actually bringing it closer to zero. Average cash flow minus average total liabilities being negative $1.1 billion as of 1 year ago, negative $984.4 million. This gets a solid 75% from me. Now, when taking a look at these shares outstanding, I mean, yeah, it's not surprising, guys. This company, I mean, yeah, it's not a big company to begin with. You would expect for them to constantly issue shares. That's not surprising in the slightest. It's still not good though. This is consistently issuing shares. In fact, the 5 year, this is up 152.5%, going from 286.5 million shares to today of 723.3 million shares. While I do understand it, it's still a 0%. And lastly, when it comes into the cash equivalents, they currently hold $177.5 million, an average of $304.43 million. And now when taking a look at the overall grades, I mean, yeah, 0, 10, 95, 50, 75, 0, this gets a 34%. Guys, from a fundamental perspective, this is where I would just stop because there really is no purpose in going any further. They need better fundamentals, especially with that net income. They have not been positive in the slightest in the past 5 years. In fact, they've just gotten further and further into negative. The cash flow's looking good, revenue's looking great, but aside from that, guys, you know, I can't take a company that makes zero net income. I really can't. And now when taking a look at the discounted free cash flow, now, okay, this is kind of nearly impossible to do because, well, I mean, let's face it, there's still, like, I guess you could say a growing company, right? So when it comes to the predicted share buyback, you know, what am I going to put here? Like negative 200%, then let's say negative 180, and then let's say negative 170, essentially. Basically, the negative just means that they're issuing shares. And with this, look at this. We're already, wow, we are already to $2.64 to $3.18. And if we take a look at the growth assumption, we can see that they're expecting, at least seeking alpha, 12.97%. That's absolutely massive. You know what? Let's actually entertain this. And let's say for the low assumption, 10%. Then let's go up to 12%. And then let's go up to 14%. And with this, we get, look at this, guys, $3.73 to $5.12. Wow, not adjusting for debt. Adjusting for debt, $3.76 to $5.15. Really interesting. Margin say to 5, 10, 15, 319 to 490. So with the current share price, it's looking like a great buy all across the board. But again, when it comes to fundamentals, it just isn't there for me. So I follow mainly fundamentals. If the fundamentals make sense, then I follow this, right? So it is what it is. I personally don't think it's a buy right now. I think that their fundamentals are pretty bad. But to his their own, right? So if you guys would like to buy this company, by all means. But again, don't be taken by surprise if something were to happen and they were to go further. Again, we saw that graph, and that graph went from what, $148.30 down to what it is today of $2, a penny stock essentially. So to all of those of you who say can't be lower, on the max, look at this, they are down 90.23%, guys. So yeah, just be very wary when you see stuff like this. I personally don't want to invest in it, but if you guys do, by all means, go ahead and do so. Make sure to, of course, have these calculators, guys. I do have them available for free. I do plan on putting out a video. I know I said I was going to put it out last Saturday, but I'm going to put it out eventually in the future where I'm going to update all of them again. And I'm going to give you guys other stuff as well, okay? So that pretty much does it for the company Tilray. Again, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this because people are like, no, you know, cannabis is probably going to be like the thing. And it's just like, well, let me tell you, unless the U.S. government at a federal level legalizes it, I highly doubt this is going anywhere. I really do doubt it. So, yeah, it is what it is. Of course, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really does help here with the algorithm on YouTube as well as Rumble. Make sure to follow us on X as well. And with that said, peace out, and we'll see you all next time.